All right, good afternoon. Thank the Lord for letting us be back in to the studio. Let the truth be told, let the truth be told. And thank the Lord for Lori and Stacey and just being back in the studio and being back with the audience. We're going to get into a few topics today and talking about a few things, and hopefully we can be helpful to you, to some of our audience members that's out there in the audience listening. So I appreciate all the feedback that we've been getting off the television program, and hopefully we can bring some life-changing moments to you, some educational points, and some great pieces to add to your life and your repertoire.
Thank you, Brother Williams. To reverberate what he just said, you know, we're really happy to be here and really happy to serve the Champaign-Urbana community, and we thank the Lord for UPTV being the public utility service and really, you know, helping messages get out that otherwise wouldn't get out. And our topic for today is going to be who, what, when, where, why, and how. And we came up with this topic upon much discussion and a little bit of argument, and we kind of wanted to do this topic just as a way to kind of introduce ourselves formally, myself, Sean, Lori, our whole team, to our audience. We feel like we kind of missed that when we started the program, and now we kind of want to backtrack and go back to that. So we want to start with the who STEM and who we are as people, and I'll give Sean an opportunity at this point to kind of introduce himself, which most people already know him, but you know, just so you really know him, we just kind of want him to run down his resume, if you will, and just kind of tell you how great he is. So why don't you kick that off for us, Brother Williams?
Well, you know, Stacey, you know, I'm a real humble guy, and who I am, you know, I would be nothing if it wasn't for God. You know, I would be nothing. You know, I'm really big on that TD Jakes thing, and with Steve Harvey interview with the TBN. You might hear me talk about it a few times in the program today. But you know, I'm who I am through the grace of God and through the things that He's allowed me to learn through experience and through education. You know, some education, but just through a lot of experience, a lot of just what my buddy Joe Stovall said, some skin in the game. Just putting skin in the game and kind of learning as I go. But I'm Sean Williams. I own a barbershop in the community. Started through the community collaboration, economic development, through the graceful help of Tom Moore, Mr. Griggs, Mr. Handbrake. I don't want to leave out nobody else. Tom Moore. Did I say Tom Moore? I said Tom Moore. Tom Moore is my guy. You know, and I missed one, Mr. Page, one of the great assets to that community collaboration that helped me start my business almost 14 years ago. Also, give a big shouts out to Mr. Purtle down at Purtle Square that helped me, you know, when I couldn't help myself. So I thank the Lord for him. I thank the Lord for Mr. Hambrick helping us get in the funeral home business over here. You know, him and his wife and his family. You know, giving some young guys an opportunity to serve families. So I thank the Lord for that. And me and Stacey got into the funeral home business and start seeing the need for insurance, and now we became insurance brokers. And so we're serving families in that front. I always do a lot of community work, and thank the Lord for the mayor and our new chief, Anthony Cobb, Pat Conley over at Urbana, chief of Urbana, you know, Chancellor Weiss. I mean, she's a great lady, and I mean, all of those people play a major component to what we do. What we do as far as community and serving families and trying to make this community a better place to live.
Yeah. And my name's Stacey Henry. I work for Sean at the funeral home as a director of sales. Been in the community about 4 years. Both my parents retired from Unit 4 schools and really had a great career in education, and they welcomed me back. I graduated from the University of Illinois in 1992, so I am somewhat familiar with this area, but I really wouldn't be anything without Sean. Sean likes to laughingly say that he gave me my hood pass. He who take it, he can take it away. So that's who I am, and I'm really here to support him, and he's been a great blessing in my life. And as Sean also stated, we also are insurance agents, and you know, we're men of God. You know, I'm an Illini fan and love the Illini, bleed orange and blue, and I really hope that these new coaching changes and the new AD change will really come about in a positive way and help us to get back to that that glory that we've had in the past. And to kind of dovetail on who we are as individuals, we kind of also want to kind of have Sean go into who we are as businessmen and who we are as leaders, both civic and in business, and kind of tell us, you know, tell the people, our audience, you know, who we help, who we are striving to help. Everybody, but specifically who is our niche.
Right, you know,
as we hear a siren in the background.
Well, you know, we always see that hear siren when we take this program. We could be up here by ourselves all the time and never hear that siren, but it's letting us know that we're listening and, and you know, being a part of this
community.
We're part of this community, in depth in the community. But one of the things about who we are, and I think that's who we serve, we would be nothing if it wasn't for the community. The people that love us, the people that shop with us, you know, and there's so many people that don't like to shop back in the community, you know, and I kind of put it like that, back in the community,
right.
that don't shop with other black businesses. I'll say that, and so I thank the Lord for the families that have entrusted us, that we have served them in one capacity or another, whether it's been funeral home, whether it's been barber shop, whether it's been from an insurance sale to help a family, so that now you can have some insurance and feel more better about your sales and know that you're secure with your with your life, and if God forbid when something happen, you're taken care of. You're already ready to go. So I thank the Lord for the people that was courageous enough to step out on faith and do that, because we don't know if we'll be able to pay a note next month or 3 months from now or 4 months from now, but stepping out on faith. So not just about us, who we are, it's really about who you are.
Yeah.
How you feel about yourself. You know, how you feel about your future. You know, and we're just there to help out.
Yes, how do you want to be known? Let's go into the remembrance and the legacy and the, you know, that part of it, the heritage part of it, and how who we oftentimes serve here at 1203 North Market Street, Market and Bradley and Champaign, but also at 904 North 4th Street with the web and then the insurance brokerage. Let's talk about how what we do can add to who you are.
You know, and I'll start first impressions are lasting impressions. So when you stepping out and you're somebody, you feel good about yourself, or you want to feel good about yourself, get your hair cut, get your hair done. Stop running around here with pajamas, pants on, you know, pajama pants on and house shoes.
Skinny, what you call them? Skinny sweater pants.
Oh, the skinny sweater. Oh man, they came up with skinny sweatpants. They know how to get us. The devil here to kill, steal, and destroy. We rebuke him in the name of Jesus. But you know, one of the things about it, because that all plays a part in how people perceive you. So if you want to be perceived in a way that you're talking and making your audio match your video, get a haircut, put on some new clothes. You don't have to have expensive clothes on.
Go to the Salvation Army. They got beautiful clothes.
Man, I talked to a girl that got a job, and she said, "Hey, Sean, I finally got a job at Myers, and you know I need a uniform." And then she went down to the Goodwill, and then she came back. She said, "Man, it's just been a great day. You know, I got a job. I found me some clothes that's gonna help me out with my new job and until I can do better."
Right.
You know, but sometimes those small things, so we don't want to knock places like the Goodwill, the Empty Tombs, because they're helpful.
Yes, sir.
They're helpful. And so many times that we got so saved and we're so far from where we used to be at that we kind of forget what we didn't have.
Right.
So always stay humble. Always stay humble, but get back to that image and how important image is, because people are watching. You know, and then when you go on that job interview, they're looking at you to see that you make that right fit.
Right.
You know, for that job opportunity that's out there. You know,
especially in a tight economy.
Yeah, even if it's not a job opportunity, maybe you're trying to start a business and you're trying to tell people about your business. You know, so in telling people about your business, you got to look like you're in business.
Yeah.
You know, I remember going over to one of the schools and on Mondays I did Edison on Mondays and I did Centennial on Tuesdays. And one of the skits that I used to do was I would want to dress up like the young guys. So I put on the sagging pants and I put on the hoodie and I put on the do-rag and I had the lokes on. And when I was walking through the school, I have a buddy Neil Tim boots on that I ended up getting from his mom after he passed away. I went and got his Tim. I knew them Tim boots would come in handy one day. And I said, man, I put them Tim boots on and I walked through the hallway. Man, I couldn't get a teacher to tell me where a classroom was at. I couldn't get a student to say anything to me because I looked like I was finna go stick the joint up, you know. And so when I got in the classroom, I was saying, hey, what up to the guys? What's up, young blood? And this, that, and that. Acting is the way somebody from the hood would act or perceived to act. And so the young guys, I was telling them I might go on a job interview tomorrow. I think I might wear what I got on. And they was like, oh no, mister, don't wear what you got on. And then I said, then the second part of the skit is I said, well, you guys hold on 1 second. I said, I gotta run and get something right quick. Let me come back out. Then I came back out with my suit on. Then the young man in the front, he said, Sean, he said, Mr. Williams, you look like you're running businesses in LA somewhere. And it was just a whole different feel. The whole conversation was a lot different. You know, when I walked out the classroom, now teachers want to speak to me and say, hey, who was that guy? Right. You know, and so that's part of letting your little light shine. Right. Because if we serve a God that we say we serve, and he has everything, all the cows he is, you should be a reflection of that. Right. You should look like that. Right. Not look like you've been beat down by life, ran down by life. You know, because it's hard to get back up once you have beat yourself down and forgive yourself. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. Forgive yourself. Because you can't be an asset. I can't be an asset to Lori or Stacey until I forgive myself and I feel good about myself. Now they can connect with my energy. Yeah. So that's part of that who.
Okay. All right, audience. Brother Williams, he's kind of long-winded, but that's good. I love his story. Let's go with what. And as we reflected this week, we've had a busy week. You know, we've been to Chicago, been to LA, come back. Now we're in the studio. Now we want to talk about what. And as an insurance man now, and as a licensed cosmetologist and a funeral home owner, what do you expect from, number one, your clientele, but number two, what should your clientele expect from us?
Well, what you should expect from us is a professional service. Professional.
We want to just remind the audience of that, and
we're to share the information, to be educated on the product that we always talk about, and to give you some pointers and kind of lead you down a path that you maybe not know anything about. You know, because so many times, because of not knowing the information, we get bumped upside the head. Right. And everybody's out there to get your money. But you want to make sure if they're going to get your money, you're getting a professional service. Yeah. And so, but that what we talked about earlier, I put it on purpose. That what is purpose? What is your purpose in life? What does the Lord got you here for? Right. He doesn't have you here to go through the same thing, expecting different results.
Grief.
And
it's not supposed to be that way.
It's not supposed to be like that. You know, you should be inspiring to other people. You know, shake it off. I got a friend that said, shake it off. Yeah. Always tell me, shake it off, Sean. Shake it off. You got to shake it off. You know, I've fallen and I can't get up. You know, that should be your story time after time. Right. You know, and so
with that being said, is that your what? If our audience members can find their what, that can really kind of help with following with the love of what your creative nature is and what your God gift is. And are you implying that you should try to find what you're good at and what you enjoy, so that your work won't feel like work? It'll be a labor of love.
You know, Stacey, what popped into my mind is that Steve Harvey interview again. Yeah. And what he told Steve is that if people would just see that seed in you, right? That seed that's gonna blossom. It maybe don't have roots right now. It maybe don't have branches right now. It maybe don't have all the things that the glitz and the glamour, right? The shiny things that we talked about on one of
the trappings of success.
Yeah, you know, maybe it don't look like that right now. But if you just have that seed and you nourish that seed and you love that seed, then it's going to start growing. So that's part of that. What, you know, what does the Lord have for you to do? You know, what type of What type of leader of the family is the man supposed to be? What type of leader of the family is the woman supposed to be?
Right.
What is the responsibility of the kids?
Yeah. What are our expectations?
Yeah.
So oftentimes results kind of come out of expectations, and if there's lower expectations, there's lower results. That seems to be a correlative factor in achievement. And what type of results should we as a community expect?
You know,
let's start with that.
Yeah, I mean,
what? That's I'm giving you that. What?
What kind of
results?
What kind of results? We should. Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing about it. It's almost like we just came out of voting, and our numbers were kind of okay, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't great.
Wasn't great. But what should you expect if you didn't show up to the poll?
Not much.
I mean, how much can you put into expect out of a system that you're not a part of?
That you don't invest.
You're alienating yourself away from being a solutionary. A solutionarian is what I should say.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
I like that. Even if it is more coin.
But you know, I mean, so you got to put some skin in the game. Yeah. You have to do something about your what? You know, you have to be a part of that solution. And so in saying that, you know, I just thank God for so many people that have tried to do something about that what? You know, and in saying that, we did that Whitney Houston memorial concert for Whitney Houston. I thank the Lord for Pastor Johnson,
Pastor Miller
from over there, Sharita Ellison, Ariska,
Elder Hub Burnett.
Oh yeah, Hub, and just so many of our families rolled by and they seen the information, all the media attention.
Sure.
But even thank God for the guys that were across the street.
Sure.
The senators. You know, and people were looking for that what?
Yeah.
What's going to happen that night?
Yeah.
And it started out being some controversy, and you know, a lot of people like controversy, and they thought it was going to be something else. But that what changed?
That what ended up being togetherness.
Togetherness.
Unity.
Yeah, some unity in the community is what we always talk about. But it started out at 6, and by 8 o'clock we were all over here.
On one page.
On one page. Thanking the Lord for Whitney Houston's life and what her songs helped us get through situations and made us feel better about certain situations. And so, I mean, I always love Whitney.
And I thank the Lord for the what when you were asked, well, Sean, well, what did you do that for? Sean, why did you do this? But your what was because we have local Whitneys in the need of prayer that want a way out but don't see a way out. So I love that what about why we, did that.
You know, so many times we look in the mirror and we don't like what we see. We do not like what we see. But so many times we don't do anything about what we see.
Right.
You know, and then we'll get down on other people because they're trying to make a difference in their lives.
Right.
You know, I'm responsible for me individually. But learning in the military, what I learned, teamwork make the dream work.
Yes, sir.
So when we come down to community, it's no I in community.
Sure.
It's we. So that what is we? We depend on each other.
Yeah, we should.
And what TJ said, God doesn't want anybody to perish. Everybody should be accounted for. And so when we go out and we talk to people, you would almost say minister to people.
Yeah.
Even about insurance, door to door, talk to families.
That's so effective.
You know, I mean, so as we go out, we try to save you as far as having the burden of not having insurance at that most neediest time to bury your loved one.
Yeah.
You know, so that's that what. And I guess what Lori hitting us up, and I guess we're about to go into that win.
We gotta hit the win. And sorry, UPTV audience, we're not rushing you today, but now we want to get to the win. And let's just start with, because we're into the businesses we're into, and we're entrepreneurs. Let's talk about when is the right time to reach out and really follow your dreams and goals and really maybe strike out on your own. When's the right time? Or is there any right time? Really?
You know,
is there ever a right time?
You know, I think Patricia Avery the president of the NAACP, and her speaker, I can't think of her name right now, at the NAACP
Torchlight,
and giving me that award, and that was the Torch Freedom Fighter Award.
Freedom Fighter Award.
The Freedom Fighter Award, and so I thank the Lord for the NAACP graciously giving me that award. And one of the things that the lady talked about, the time is right now.
Right.
Right now is the time.
So when is the right time?
Right now. You know, the time is right now. It's right now. We got to make our change right now. You know, don't procrastinate and put it off. You know, we've seen people that could have probably had some insurance.
Right.
But they put it off. 6
months later, now they're deceased.
Exactly.
And the family's saying, "Oh, he put us in a state."
Exactly.
Do you really? We don't want our audience to be looked upon at that last moment as being a burden, do we?
You know, and so many times that whole thing could change up. You know, we can go from grieving one moment, you know, missing a loved one, and then within the next couple of days, now we got upset because now we have to take out of a 401k, or we're looking at one of our cousins or our sisters or brothers crazy.
Title loan.
Well, we're looking at them crazy because they have been good stewards of their money. And we're looking at them like, hey, look, you guys have it. You know you got it. Give it up for so-and-so, so-and-so. And then they're looking like, well, he should have been out there working.
Right.
You know, and then now we're divided. Now we're starting to divide the family.
Sure.
And so everybody's responsible, should be responsible for themselves. You know, I shouldn't look for my kids to do for me what I should be doing for myself.
Yes, sir.
Because I got to be the leader. I got to lead this thing. You know, and so in order for some accountability to be there, let me show my kids how to fish.
Sure. And
you know,
feed a whole village.
And that's kind of the thing. That's what I've been working with my adult kids right now.
Right.
It's showing them how to fish. At least being that light to them. You know, that dimmer light when things ain't looking that good for them. And say, okay, well, let me call Dad. Let's see what Dad says.
You can be that beacon of hope for them.
Yes. Yeah. So the time is right now. You know, don't let the haircut get all out of whack before you start saying, well, I need to get a haircut. I mean, you've been knowing you need a haircut.
Pay $10 for a $30 haircut.
Exactly. And so you know, it makes my job as a barber much tougher. It makes our job as a funeral home owner much more tougher. You know, you wait until you didn't get that provider plan.
Right.
For the kid, when everything was perfect. You know, now you had a kidney transplant or a liver transplant. Now you're trying to find insurance, and nobody wants to put any faith in you that you'll last 3 years. You know, and we're seeing this on the ground
every day.
We're seeing it. We're talking to people. You know, a lot of times, a lot of us are living some fantasy world out there, and we're living a CSI type life, right. You know, or Atlanta Housewives type life that we don't even understand that there's real life stuff going on out there.
Right.
You know, I remember when I first went to the morgue over at Carl and Pravina, and I'm thinking I'm going to see some things like CSI. You know, these shiny chrome doors, and you know, people just pulling people out and they're looking. Well, I'm telling you, looking. It doesn't happen like that. Boy, was I let down. But you know, I mean, but I soon understood that this is the real world. Yeah. And in the real world, you need real solutions. You know, so don't think that. Always remember the devil here to kill, steal, and destroy. And the devil's always in the details. So add that always to the mathematical problem to your life. You know, and don't spend so much time on the problem that you don't spend that more time on the solution. Yeah. So when the change, when to take care of your business is today. Start right now. Don't wait to say, well, we always like to put a New Year's resolution on something. Right. Well, January 1st.
I'm gonna change this up.
You picked up 45 more pounds.
That might be next January 1st.
You know, I mean, you know, after I eat this red velvet cake, I'll start to do it. Well, I mean, by that time, now you just shot your diabetes up, you know, or your blood pressure.
We see so much of the cancer, heart attack, stroke, diabetes, but the beautiful part of it is that even with that being said, we still can't get you insured. So when could be today, when could be yesterday, it could be tomorrow, but our whole job is, we're not preachers, but we want to inform.
Yeah.
And we're a show dedicated to information.
Yeah.
And we feel like information is power, and that's really the crux of change.
You know, Stacey, that's what makes people better. Is that they, you know, a lot of as a man thinketh, so is he. And if you don't, and as we being community, businessmen, leaders, things of that nature, as a man thinketh, so is we, if we're the leaders.
Right.
So we don't want to mislead you down the wrong road, because we have the time, and part of our business is to do the research, to find out the information. What's right, what's wrong. You know, I don't want to be responsible for leading nobody astray the wrong way. So I want to be able to tell you guys the right information. You know, so when you call me at the barbershop and say, hey Sean, got this problem. You know, if I don't know the answer, I say, hold on, let me call somebody else. Because relationships are very important. You know, you got to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody in this community. And if you just living on the island by yourself, well, maybe that's why you ain't got no job. Maybe that's why your situation is the way it is. Because you're not, your attitude, you got to change your attitude. You got to change who you are as a person.
Team player.
Yeah, and be part of this community. Grounded in this community. Be an active citizen of this community. You know, be a great person just on your block.
Right.
So we in to do that right now.
You know, Sean, it's kind of like, I was listening to Joel Osteen late one night, and he said, don't look for a blessing, become a blessing. Wasn't that so powerful?
Powerful.
You know, it starts with the smallest thing, the smallest seed. Like TDJ says, plant seeds. You know, till the ground and plant seeds.
Let somebody else do the water. Let somebody else do the water. So you plant the seed, let somebody else grow. Not all of us have the same job in the community.
Right. Or the same gift.
Yeah, so, you know, plant the seed. Tell somebody to look pretty today. You know, tell yourself you look pretty today. You know, just start right with yourself.
Right.
You know, I mean,
control your own mind.
That's right. And that control eventually controls your destiny.
And your outcome.
Yeah. You know, I mean, and then next thing you know, a year from now, I told somebody to do two things. Do two things towards your goal every day. Every day do two things. Pick up the phone, get on the internet, go to the library. Whatever it is, it is that the Lord got you out there to do two things toward it. I guarantee you, watch how God change things for you. Watch how your situation start changing. The people that you hang out with start changing. We ain't do that now. Start dropping some zeros and start replacing them with some heroes in your phone. All those negative people. I remember one year I said, man, things ain't going right. I said, you know what? I got so many of these negative people on my cell phone. I said, I'm gonna start meeting other people and I'm gonna start replacing them. So as I start meeting other business people and as I start meeting more inspirational people, you know, and you ain't got to be I don't count little eyes and big old big U's and different things like that. You could be nobody with nothing. I might replace somebody with something with your phone number.
Right.
Because you're an inspiration to me.
Right. Everyone has worth.
Man, everybody got some value. I'm stuck on that. Man, God don't want nobody to fail. He don't want to leave nobody behind. You know, in the Army we said don't leave no soldier behind. We shouldn't leave anybody behind. You know, and then be willing to change. You know, if somebody giving you some good feedback about who you are, then change it. You know, I was telling Stacey and Lori earlier, you know, that I ran into a lady at Ryan's, and a lady, and she said, boy, you know, you one of those funeral home owners, and this, that, and other. And it was because of superstitiousness that she had. You know, oh, in 10 years you'll look this way and that way because all you feel, you know,
embalming fluid. You sniffing the embalming fluid down.
I mean, just straight negative. And she older than me, sitting with another older guy that I know that's been in the church a long time. See, I don't look at people the same way no more in the funeral home business. It's just people. You know, and I don't put nobody on no pedestal. You know, because it's nobody between my relationship between me and God. Now, people can help me along the way, but your relationship is between you and God. So you go to God for everything that you need. You know, so I'm not looking for her to give me all kind of gratitude, but I ain't looking for you to give me negativity too.
Right.
You know, either you like me or you don't.
You're a paying customer. Let's go to the where, buddy.
Yeah. You want to go to the where?
We go to the where. Where do you go to
whatever
church? But you've been on fire for the Lord.
Well, that was at Ryan's.
Yeah. And I didn't want you to say that, but
man, you run
we repasses at Ryan's. But
oh, they great people out there. Ryan's is great people. We did great repasses. We healed families out at Ryan's.
It is such
right at Ryan's. We brought a family together that was disconnected. But over that meal at Ryan's, we made 2 girlfriends and a wife come straight together.
They hugged.
What you talking about? Come on, man.
Let's talk about where are you on?
Tell me
You've been on fire for the Lord. You grew up in the church, and you're really an exemplary person, and of young people and how you can change your life and go from nothing to something. But you're something according to your mom and your father. So you're something. Everybody's somebody, but you've been on so much fire. And where do you worship now? I know that you grew up going to church, and you were a member of Church of the Living God for about 20 years. And so where do you attend now? What's been the source of your energy?
You know, Stacey, and that's a good question. I still go to the 9 o'clock church service at the Love Corner. Bishop Lloyd, Queen and Sister Mary, great people. You know, great people, great church. You know, I brought a lot of people through that church, through my U of I basketball players, when I was cutting all the U of I basketball players, the football players.
Brown,
you know, Darren Bryan, you know, Coach McClain,
Victor.
You know, Vic, and a bunch of those guys. I mean,
Simeon,
you know, Simeon Rice and Kevin Harding and those guys, that era guys. You know, but lately at the 11 o'clock service, a young man came to town, Pastor McKeevy Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, and he's doing a lot of work after
Jericho Missionary Baptist Church.
Yeah, and after, you know, we had a rash of shootings out in the Garden Hills area on the last year. We had the summer youth program that was going on through Garden Hills, through Pastor Johnson's church, and I wanted to dedicate myself toward helping out the youth in that problem over in the Garden Hills area.
Right.
You know, and I always like community. And I made a pact to the city manager, to the mayor, the old mayor, and to a lot of civic leaders, that that I was going to do what I can to make some change in the young people's lives. And then when I connected with Pastor Johnson, that was part of his goals and his objectives. And so at the 11 o'clock hour, I go to Jericho. My sister's been going to Jericho for, probably 30 years.
We love Cecilia.
Man, and I always tried to get her to come.
And Debbie, we definitely can't leave Debbie out.
You know, and so I tried to get her to come over to Love Corner, and she pulled me over to Jericho.
And that's all.
And I love Pastor Johnson. I love the way he walks through the Word, and it's that understanding for me that I get. You know, it's that spiritualness I get. You know, it's that making me feel empowered. You know, it's making me feel better about who I am. You know, and I can lead with something.
Right.
You know, and I thank the Lord for Pastor Johnson, his wife coming from Mississippi. I love the way he talked about his grandmother, because that's the way I felt about my grandmother when she was living. You know, that's the way my mama used to hum while she was cooking that Saturday or Sunday morning meal. You know, and so that connection's there. Sure. You know, I guess it's that military connection to it. And you know, and I'm always connected with military guys. Bishop Wynn's a military guy. Pastor Johnson's a military guy. Sure. You know, so it's that following that leader. And so I thank the Lord for that church, and I can see us continuously growing over there, because it's so much effort put into making you better as a person, a spiritual person, a better individual attitude. You know, and that change is right now, where you're at right now.
And for those that don't go to Jericho, really the bigger picture is, where do you seek your salvation? Where do you find your salvation? And for you, that's been Jericho, but for the rest of the audience that has their own home church and isn't interested in maybe trying something else, don't you think more importantly is where you seek your salvation?
You know, Stacey, we do a lot of prayer. We do a lot of praying. We do a lot of hugging in this business. We do a lot of, before we even got in this business, we did a lot of things over at the barbershop. Sure. I was putting up obituaries on my wall way before we got in the funeral home business.
Right.
Because I knew that was the only
prison pictures.
I had those too. You know, guys that have left our community. You know,
where are they? They might be in DOC, but we're hopeful that they're coming back home.
What they were doing, they living on my wall.
Right.
And
vicariously.
And those obituaries, they're living off that wall. Okay, and you know, and so we were doing that a long time ago. We were doing prayers over there a long time ago, and that was so inspirational. But what I would say is that everything you do, acknowledge God first. Put God in the details, because the devil already gonna be in the details. But if you ain't got God on your side, how can you be successful? What type of family are you raising? You know, I mean, a lot of times our families are all messed up out here because we messed up.
Right. Starts from within.
Yeah, because we messed up. So then that trickle down effect, we get turned into loose to the community because we got sick and tired of being sick and tired and put somebody about the house and they ain't properly prepared. Now we have a young man that gets shot out in the heels, you know, because of the fact that maybe we didn't properly prepare that young person before he went out the house. You know, so it's ultimately our responsibility. And like I said before, if something happens dramatically here in Champaign, it's just not a police problem. It's just not, you know, one family. It's a community's problem.
Right.
All of our family from around the nation is going to call and say,
the whole village,
what's going on with y'all in Champaign? You know, and that's the way people feel. They be feeling like, man, I mean, are those people in Champaign not getting properly trained?
Yeah.
You know, so that's pretty much Champaign. Where?
That kind of also does tell on that Trayvon incident there in Florida where he was brutally shot and he was unarmed, and here he is, you know, had a hoodie on, was a young man, and he might have been somewhat troubled, but you know, that happened in Florida, but where did it resonate and really have an impact across the whole world?
Right, and we never, some of us have probably never heard of Sanford, Florida.
Right, I have.
And we probably
most of us have.
You know, we probably never heard of Sanford, Florida. But now it's a household name.
Yeah. Where in Sanford, Florida is where Trayvon got shot.
Trayvon Martin is a household name. I mean, we did a couple of visuals here in the Champaign-Urbana area for Trayvon. You know, but me and Lord,
at the Douglas.
Yeah, me and Lord were talking earlier about how media coverages been covering Trayvon here in the Champaign area locally.
Because it kind of stinks of Kiwan.
It goes hand in foot with Kiwan, you know, and so we've had our Kiwan moment here, and I think that, you know, local media and some local community members, they feel sort of like I've heard in a certain meetings sometimes, let's just move on. Well, a lot of people want to move on, especially when it didn't affect their life. You know,
they got something to hide.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, you want to move on, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm not healed yet. I'm still hurt. You know, and I'm detrimental to the team if I'm still hurt.
Sure.
Because hurt people hurt people.
Yes, sir.
You know, if I'm still hurt and I'm venomous, then I can't do nothing but drag that team down, drag that family down.
Yeah.
So you know, so not all of us move on at the same time.
Sure. Let's jump over to the why. And I really look forward to this topic because we, you know, in our everyday business, I mean, we get the why question probably about 5, 6, 7 times a day. Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do the other?
Why cost that?
Well, why the heck did you get into the funeral business? Can you let us know that once and for all? Can we bring some closure to that?
You know what? I got so many people that come up to me because I'm so known for so many different other things. When I was promoting parties out there, and when
you had Big Boy, you had the Blue Line Pit Bulls.
Yeah, and I was, you know, the barbershop, and you know, and doing so many different community things.
And a hood ambassador.
Yeah,
that's your unofficial title, hood ambassador.
You know, I appreciate all the guys from the hood, from the community. You know, all the guys, all the downtrodden. You know, the people that people look down on. You know, things of that nature. Because that was my clientele.
It still is.
You know, and a lot of those guys are still my clientele. Some of those guys are my friends.
And watching them.
You know, yeah, and some of those guys watch my back. You know, I mean, my shop has been left open many times, and I got guys that are walking, that stand right there on guard and call me on the phone and say, "Hey, Sean, somebody left the door open on your shop. I'm gonna stay right here until you get here." You know, and I go down there and I be like, "Oh man, good looking, bro." Be like, "Man, you know we ain't gonna let nothing happen to your shop." I never had, so that's grace, you know, by the grace of God, you know, that people looking out for you.
Robert West, you know, by the grace of God.
By the grace of God, you know, that people looking out for you, you know, and so, but while I got in the funeral home business, actually I was trying to start a boys' home, and a program that I wrote off of one of the young guys that was coming to the barbershop, And the reason why I wrote it is because of the fact that he got like a 26 on his ACT, but his home environment was all jacked up. You know, and so I looked at him and I looked at a lot of other, like we said, Whitney's out there.
Sure.
It's a lot of Bobbies out there too, you know. And so he was a Bobby to me. And I wanted to try to, the next Bobby that I ran into, I wanted to have somewhere with an avenue for them to go to.
Sure.
And I still want to do that. I still want to be able to transition these guys into a way in which they can go transition into the University of Illinois, start seeing how other students operate so that they can have that vision in their program. Exactly. And so, but I was cutting Mr. Hambrick's hair at the time, and I was texting what he was going to do with the house that he owned. And then I started to cut his hair, and I said, well, Mr. Hambrick, what you going to do with the funeral home? He said, Brother Sean, I'm thinking about selling that too. So that's when I talked to you, and you had came in as a young guy, salesman for one of the local television programs. And I got to talking to you about it, and I started saying, hey, look, let's do some research on this. I need some help. And so you started, you know, saying big words to me, and I started, and you know, all I need is a little bit, a glimmer of hope. Because, you know, because I didn't have so many things go wrong for me that, you know, I feel like T.D. Jakes, you know, it's a million times, you know, as much that happened to me. Lost 5 brothers, lost my best friend, lost my ex-wife, lost an important job in my life when me and my ex-wife was together. My kids were small, but you know, it's what T.D. Jakes said in that Steve Harvey TBN interview. He said, you know, if it wasn't for God, you know, because what Steve was saying is that it's a lot of times guys get it all messed up, and it's hard for guys to wrap their mind around heaven or hell. But at that time in my life, when all those things were going wrong in my life, you know, even if there's no heaven or hell, God been good to me right now. Because if it was not for God, man, I could have just blew up. I could have lost my mind. You know, and there's so many people that lose their mind in certain situations, you know. I mean, lose a loved one and they're never the same. You know, lose a job and you just go postal. You know what I'm saying? Somebody talk about you and run your name in the ground and they don't even know you. You know, I mean, it's people that blow people's brains out like that. It's people that blow their own brains out. You know, so but I thank the Lord for being what I did with that situation and all those different situations. I tried to turn it into a positive. How can I make this more positive? And how can I walk through this valley of the shadows of death so I won't fear no evil? Right. But everything, all my solutions end up being right back to God. Now I'm not a big biblical reader, but when I talk to some of my biblical scholars, they say, Sean, it's a scripture that goes with that.
Pastor Ben Seon, Pastor Gibbon.
It's the scripture that goes with that. And they'll tell me the scripture and wrap it around what I'm talking about. You know?
And it makes perfect sense.
It makes it, and that comes from planting that seed. Yeah. Somebody in your life planting that seed, you know, telling you to go to church service when you was young, you know.
And that obedience, that discipline.
Yeah.
Don't you think it starts with obedience and discipline?
Yeah.
Not only for whether you have a father in the home or whether you have an absent mother in the home, even if you have a guardian or an adopted parent, don't you think it all starts with discipline and obedience?
You know, my grandmother used to always say, and she used to always tell my sisters and my cousins and things when she tried to give them some wisdom, and they would be like, oh, I don't know what she's talking about, you know, and she was like, okay, Heifer, you keep living, just keep on living, and that mean one day you don't understand exactly what I'm saying. Why should I have to split my head wide open to the pink part when you already have?
Right.
I shouldn't have to touch the stove and it's hot. And somebody's telling me don't touch the stove.
Because you know what to do.
Because we know what the results are.
Yeah.
And a lot of times young people, we're working with young people, you know, young people think that they know everything and they're full of energy and things of that nature. But it's like what I said the other day. If I know at age 25 what I know now, man,
you said we wouldn't even be living here.
We be in Wall Street, you know, DC, back in LA somewhere, you know, Costa Rica somewhere, you know. But that ain't where the Lord wanted me at. And the reason why He didn't give it to me at age 25, because a lot of people that's 25 years old that know too much and doing too much are knuckleheads. You know, they end up being knuckleheads. You got to be mature. You got to know how to cherish and respect your blessing. And know that it is a blessing from God. know that you could have been dead and in your grave.
And don't get it twisted.
You know, I went and dealt with the coroner's office, you know, and I treat life with respect, you know, because you respect every moment of life and always take it serious. Stop joking and treat life with disrespectful, you know, because I went over there on yesterday and I was talking to the guy, and a young man, 19 years old, passed away, you know, and it was so impactful to me, and it doesn't make a difference to me, you know, if you're white, you're black, you're Asian, you're Hispanic. Life is life to me.
Yeah, blood is blood.
Everybody, man, God don't want nobody, don't want to leave nobody behind. Everybody needs a saving relationship, you know, everyone. So everybody's accounted for. We all in this together. And when we can see Champaign, when we can see ourselves being in this community together, man, we'll be a leader upon communities. Once we can come to the table with more solutions than we come with problems, more love than we come with hate. Come on, man.
We'll see that shift.
You know, and so when I talk to my administrators and things of that nature, because a lot of times we try to change things way down here.
Right.
But no, I told my leaders, hey, look, leaders, we got to have that relationship.
You got to start at the top and let it
flow down. Blessings start right within, right here. So let's see the chancellor with the mayor, with the police chief,
with the city
with
council,
the
with the school board member.
Let's see them walking through the community, checking on your phone.
Right.
How can you check the climate out if you ain't even want to check on the ground?
Call it a head count. Don't we call it a head count? Kind of like a census worker.
Yeah, every now and then the general used to come down there with the soldiers there and say, hey, private, how's things going? But if we never check on the privates to see how things going, where's you come?
We'll be dysfunctional.
Where's you coming with this vision at? Is the Lord really telling you about something? Are you really checking to see if the devil in details for my life?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why we need to do it for yourself.
And take it serious.
Take it serious. Do it for yourself. Change a moment for yourself.
Yes, sir. Here we are upon the Easter season. I always love this time of year. You know, the flowers are popping out. The kids are wearing white and running around and chasing eggs, and it's just such a beautiful time. How, as families, young families and older families, mature families, approach the Easter season, how can we, in our own individual lives and as a collective community, how can we begin to, you know, feel a sense of healing and hope and inspiration in light of the news, the gloom and doom, the wars, the poverty, the disease, and how can we as a family and as a community begin to really grip this Easter season and make it work for us, Sean?
You know, one of the things about it is that, you know, the how and how we can do that, you know, what I would say spiritually is, you know, is first, understand your situation.
Yeah.
Understand what are you going through.
In that situation could be, I got cancer, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a drug addict, my daughter ran away, my son ran away. This situation could be any situation. We want to make this universal, and we don't have long, so let's try to make it simple and effective. You know,
and the how is the man in the mirror. You know, but the spiritual aspect is that it's repent. You know, it's repentance. It's saying that I'm messed up.
Right.
And I need some help. I mean, it's nothing wrong with asking for help and confessing and say, I need some help. It first starts right there. That addict got to first say, hey man, I'm an addict. And I got a problem. Now, with rehab and things of that nature, we kind of rub each other on my views and my opinions and some of their views and their opinions.
We're not here to,
but I don't like being for you saying that once you throw a cast it upon the Lord and you get away from that thing and you heal now, you don't keep revisiting that thing.
Right.
That's my views and my opinions. But you know, how can you do it? By asking somebody. You want to know what I'm doing? Ask me what I'm doing. Don't try to come up with your own conclusion on what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Things that Ask me, I'll tell you. Because most 9 times out of 10, we need help.
We need help.
You know, we need help in what we're trying to do to make our community better. As a community side, you know, on some of these boards that we're sitting in, you know, we need you guys out there. We need community to get off the couch.
We need participation.
Yeah.
Don't live like through TV. Get out here and go to a meeting.
Turn the housewives off. Right. Stop looking at Dancing with the Stars. You know, all that type of stuff.
And quit complaining.
And go down to the city council meeting and sit in there and let them know that you're accountable.
That's better than the movie, and it's free, isn't it?
Come on. I mean, and sometimes it's funny.
They don't even charge.
We got some characters out there. And sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's great to see community coming together. You know, being that glue that say, hey, look, we are important. Everybody's an important person. You know, it's no community, it's no neighborhood that's neglected, you know, or no neighborhood that's more important than another neighborhood. The Bristol Park area is just as important as the Cherry Hills area. The Garden Hills area is just as important as any other area, the Rolling Acres neighborhood, or whatever the case might be. Everybody's important, and every neighborhood is important. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, and that how is go to the library. Do some research.
That's another free public service.
You know, I mean, that's free.
Empower.
Get on the internet. You know, just
stay on Facebook so much.
Yeah, just don't be on Facebook. You know, I check Facebook. I got about 4,000 friends on Facebook, right. But I don't spend all my day talking to all 4,000 of my friends on Facebook because most of them I don't know.
Because a lot of times too, I mean, Facebook, Google search. Do a Google search.
Yeah, do a
Find out who your friends are on Google.
Exactly. You know, and ultimately it makes you a better person because you now know more information.
Sure. Which is power.
And that's empowerment. For you to know more information, you can make a better decision for your life and the people that you're responsible for lives if you know more information. You know, let's go with another how. How getting up on that Sunday morning and attending somebody's church service to be able to get something, be able to hear something positive.
Right.
You know, not just be around negative stuff all the time. You know, another how. Start that business today.
Right. Right. There's no perfect time.
And how you started out, I mean, you know, it's people out there with money. So take that money thing out of the situation. It's people out there. If your product type, it's people out there that's wanting to invest money into your product. But your job is to work on your product.
And work on your emotions.
Yeah.
Work on your faith.
Yeah. And it's a faith walk. When you talk about getting into a business, you don't know what tomorrow might bring. But all you can go off is faith and your product, your service. You know, Mr. Henderson, a great Tom Henderson is our funeral director here. You know, 88 years old. I just left him yesterday. Great guy. And he talks about service. And one of the things that he instilled in us is something about service all the time. And it's about that service that we get. It's that community serving. And serving to me is, you see, a lot of times we get serving twisted. We want the community to serve us as leaders instead of us being leaders serving the community.
Right. You wouldn't be a leader if you didn't know service.
You know, and so I mean, before I really expect you to pay me for a haircut, you know, I'm gonna make sure that I can get you the haircut that you're looking for.
And the same in the funeral business.
And the same thing
in
the funeral home business and insurance business. You know, and me personally, see, my heart goes out so much to people because I'm a people's person. So if you come to me and you say, hey, Sean, got that interview, man, but man, I ain't got no money, need that cut. Now, I got you. Yeah, and if I don't think you're lying, I got you. You know, I got people, man, that I give $2 and $3 to all day long, every day almost, sure, to people that come in there that I know that's misfortune, that's less fortunate than me. You know, because I know I'm going to be blessed. I know where my blessings come from. Sure. They come from God first, but they come from these people in the community. People that entrust their loved ones or entrust me within their haircut, because even that's a tough situation.
Sure.
Because if I sit down and somebody got to tell you how to cut my hair, I'm getting up.
Right.
Or if I remember when I was in the military, and I know we're cutting our time short, but I know when I was in the military and I went to sick call one morning, and the PFC that was diagnosing me, he was reading a book. He started looking at the symptoms, and I started looking like, oh my goodness, now he's going to go somewhere. I hope he's not writing a prescription, you know, because of the fact that if you're not studious enough to take care of me right now.
For a second opinion from the pharmacist.
Exactly. So, you know, I thank the Lord for you. Thank the Lord for you guys listening to us every Sunday. Thank the Lord for UPTV. let the truth be told. I think we let the truth be told today.
And lastly, how do you get in touch with Brother Williams and myself? We've got a great website that Miss Lori Cooper has architected for us. It's awesome. It's very informative. We've got articles. We've got online memorials. Sean's email address is SeanWilliams_217 @yahoo.com. My email address is StaceyHenryJD@gmail.com. We've got.
I think that's on the scrolls. I think that's gonna be on the scrolls. He got it all.
He don't want you to get.
He like giving his shots out.
And how else will be a see in your neighborhood? We go through neighborhood door by door by door. We
block by block by block. That's how we
hope to see you this week.
Yeah, and so I love walking through neighborhoods. I love talking to people, because truly, if we let the truth be told, that a lot of us are out here lonely. You know, we don't have a lot of friends like we used to. We don't have porch families no more, where families sat on porches and connected and built relationships up. Right. You know, so we're all operating off an island by ourselves, but we need each other.
And we want to bring church to your home.
Yeah, you know, so we're gonna bring church. We're gonna bring some insurance
and faith.
Yeah,
and fellowship.
And some laughter and some smiling. And, you know, we want to see your smiling face. So when you see us in traffic, don't feel like a stranger. You know us from UPTV. Throw up the peace sign, throw up the thumbs up, and say what's up. Thank you very much. You have a great day.
God bless.